This is LP Giobbi.
Listen up, children.
You are listening to Femme House Radio.
I said listen up, children.
On Diplo's Revolution, Sirius XM.
A wonderful night is made as much by the dancers as the music. Guided as much by the spirit of joy in the room as by the hand which reaches for the next record. Each of us has a role in tonight's experience. We all play in the band.
This is LP Giobbi, and I founded Femme House, a 501c3 foundation and educational platform that teaches the technical areas of music making for women, non-binary, trans, and other marginalized gender identities. Every week, I will be interviewing and spotlighting women in music while bringing you the best dance tunes from around the world. Our next guest on Femme House Radio is Alice Longyu Gao. At 17, she moved to the U.S. from China and started DJing and making runway tracks for Juicy Couture, Hennessy, and Red Bull. She then released her own record, Rich Bitch Juice, that Lady Gaga featured as the top 3 track in her Women of Choice Apple Music playlist. She has collaborated with Weathen, Alice Glass, and Mira Masa, to name a few. She writes in English, Chinese, and Japanese, and her unconventional melodies will find a way to get stuck in your head in the best possible way. Welcome, Alice.
Yeah, that was the best intro ever. What's up, guys? It's back on Alice.
Honestly, snaps to that, you are a queen. You have collaborated with a handful of really interesting and talented artists. What has been your favorite collaboration to date?
I must say Muramasa, okay, like, period. And also, I mean, not period, but like, you know, I'm the president of Muramasa fan club, you know, so to be able to work with him over quarantine purely on emails, like magic.
Wow.
You know?
How did you two get connected?
Well, again, I am a Muramasa fan, so he still thinks he never ever met me in person, but I did. So like in 2019, he did a talk for his new album in New York, and then I went, and I was like fashionably late, whatever, cause I wanted attention, you know. So like I like look all like fashion and like put on strong perfume, you know, and like no one was sitting at the first row because like I guess, you know, people was just like thinking that's like reserved seats, whatever. But I didn't care, you know. I was like, oh, sorry guys, can I squeeze in, you know, like, yeah. So I actually quote unquote met him back then, but I wasn't like brave enough to talk to him, you know what I mean? So like my friend who organized the event, he was like, yo, like after his talk, I was like trying to find someone to introduce me to him. And my friend who actually, you know, produced the event, I was like, can you introduce me to him? And he was like, babe, I don't want to lose my job. Like, you know, and like he was like, he's standing right there, like that's his label people. He's talking to them. Just go talk to him. Like usually I would totally do it, but I don't know why I didn't do it that day. And then, you know, fast forward, the end of 2020, we worked on our song Shiabunai together, and my really good friend Bulo is also on the track, and, you know, like, it was just pure magic, you know. And then obviously I am a huge fan of Alice Glass, so to work with her earlier in 2021 this year, you know, it was just a dream come true, you know. I remember when I just came to America, every day on my way to class, I would listen to her music, and I don't know why, I could walk so fast just because of her music.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and also so cold, so like you kind of need to walk fast. So like that, her music really helped, you know. And yeah, and then another person I would love to mention would be Dylan Brady, you know. So like when I was working with Dylan Brady, like we were just like making music, I guess, you know. And then all of a sudden hyperpop as a term being invented, and, you know, 100 Gags, Dylan's own like artist project, blew up hard, and like, you know, they put out their breakthrough album 1000 Gags on Dylan's label, and the second, the third, the fourth releases were all mine. And that sort of like helped me to build my brand, because, you know, again, like, you've met me in person, like, but before COVID, and I was probably like very like low key that day, but usually like I'm crazy, you know. So like people don't know how to like people just like, what is this? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then,
yeah.
you know, working with Dylan and having him to help me with my record, like that was very very lucky, and I'm internally grateful for it.
That is so awesome. Well, so cool that you got to work with people that you knew before and were a fan of, and get to have these full circle moments with them. That's really, really special. And, you know, for you to move all the way here to America on your own, have the confidence to go out there and just like leap into your life and meet these folks and figure out a way to work with them is just so inspiring and courageous. So I really commend that. So you have a fashion background. How did you get into the fashion world?
Well, I mean, I feel like, you know, growing up, I was really like, I was like definitely, you know, singing in the choir and like, you know, doing stuff in my class, but actually I didn't have many friends. And now I realize it, but back then I didn't know what it is, but I just always remember whenever I put on new clothes, like a new swag, I'm like, I'm the shit, you know? And then when I came to America for school, so I came here when I was 17. I'm the only child, and I came here alone. So I sort of finally got my freedom because my family is quite strict and conservative. Like my dad, I wasn't allowed to wear jean shorts. And basically jean shorts just doesn't exist in my closet. And I secretly bought my first pair of jean shorts when I was taking English classes to prepare for my American school in Shanghai by myself. So I was probably like, I want to say like 16, yeah. And then,
whoa,
yeah, so my family was like that, and my dad really think girls should just, also in my dad's head, the world is two like extremes, man and woman. Like he doesn't understand non-binary, but basically he thinks like girls supposed to wear like white shirts and like blue long pants, you know. So and then after I came to America, I just got all this freedom. To be honest, I was really far away. I mean, I'm still very far away from my families in Asia, so I just got all this freedom. My parents do not really know how much everything costs in America, even though I'm not like a shopaholic, and I don't buy like luxury brands and all of that, but like, you know, just the freedom, the time, like, you know, somehow had a little more like financial like flexibility, and I was just wearing whatever the fuck I want. And then after I graduated, I went to New York, and then, you know, I was assisting this British DJ, Chelsea Leland, and she has a very strong foundation in the fashion world. And, you know, by working with her, like, you know, that was...
What was her name?
Chelsea Leland.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of her. Okay.
Like,
oh, wow. How did you link up with her?
Well, I was just at her gig, and she thought I looked cute, because obviously to other people I dress differently, you know, even though I was just literally simply being myself. And so like she thought I was cute, and then, you know, I follow her, she followed me back, and we were like DMing, and she was like, oh, I need assistant, do you know anyone? I was like, I can be your assistant. So I started working for her as her assistant, and, you know, again, she like, you know, she like sits front row at Fashion Week, and, you know, she's like, you know, like in all this like crazy magazines. So, you know, and then I interned at Paper Magazine, and I also was producing like editorial photo shoots or video shoots for like V Magazine, Love Magazine, I mean, featuring great talent like, you know, Madison Beer, Hailey Bieber, Hailey Baldwin, Louis Donaldson, crazy Victoria's Secret model, just all of that. And then I also was an intern at Comme des Garçons. So, you know, I was like, fashion meant a lot for me in terms of career, you know. And I also started DJing. Basically, I mean, I was DJing like all around like Lower East Side in Manhattan. Like obviously doing like regular club gigs and all that, but also you know, Fashion Week was a big thing for me to make money or like gain exposure. So I would like make runway tracks for like Juicy Couture, you know.
So were you producing?
Yeah, I mean, for runway track, that one, I wasn't really producing. I was able to, basically. I wouldn't call it like I produced it because, you know, they had specific, you know, choice in terms of the music. I was making the runway track based on their taste and like their choice, you know. So it was more like mixing, I want to say. I wouldn't say producing.
Cool.
But yeah, if you want to call it producing, sure. Like I did the soundtrack for that runway show that year, Juicy Couture 2018. Yeah, and like my DJ clients are like Nike, Vans, and like, you know. Like,
are you still doing that?
Yeah, I mean, I have a new partnership with Vans coming out soon, and yeah, and I was DJing like during Fashion Week, like in London, obviously in New York, Paris, and like yeah. It was a lot of
amazing
music gigs, you know.
What a great! I mean, the you know the DJ world I come from is very much like club and, you know, like promoter based and whatever. The DJing with brands, it just seems like such a fun. I mean, the pay is probably better, and it seems like such a fun.
It depends. I mean, usually yes. I think because I feel like
for sure
if you are DJing in a club world, which I also did and I still do, and like basically how many people you can pull, like that is very important. And like for fashion DJ gigs, like obviously your brand, your message. Like I DJ for Valentino earlier this year, like I didn't have any stress really. Like I was like, do you want me to invite my friends? And they were like, no, we have like our own guest list, you know.
Oh my God, that's a whoa, that would lift so much pressure, you know, because like when I go on tour, I'm like, I need to sell so many tickets, like I hope people show up for it. It's just like a whole other level of weird, intense stress. It's so awesome just like be able to go and like do your thing and not have to worry about the other stuff.
Yeah. I mean, but it's different though. I feel like, you know, because for all these fashion events, music is obviously like it has to go with the brand, you know. So like, you will sort of tailor your set to that, and then also like, music is not the main point during those gigs. Yeah, right. You know,
right.
And like sometimes it's literally just background music, and I'm always like, what's next, you know? So like I was kind of like, okay, I've done some stuff in this scene, so like how can I further explore who I could be, you know? And that's when I started making my original music.
So awesome. So what do your DJ sets look like? What kind of music do you play in your DJ sets?
Well, I mean, so like I go through different phases, right? And like, you know, like I said, I started in the club world too. So like, and also you have to realize, I mean, I guess, you know, I just would love to, you know, mention this. I'm a foreigner. I'm still here on visa. So I didn't grow up in America. I came here when I was 17. So, you know, when you're doing club gigs, you have to know what are the smash people would dance to. And for me, like I had to learn, you know, like I had to go back. Okay, so what are the, you know, 2000 Y2K hits? Like what are the 90s hits? Like, you know, and especially, so like for me, it's almost like learning, you know, like I didn't even like for example, like I guess, you know, maybe for you probably get these questions asked a lot. Like people probably would ask you like, do you take requests? And you know, but like for me it's always like yes, because like if
you do,
I do, because that's the way I learn, you know. Because when people especially at clubs, like when people request me a song, I would make a note if I don't have it, and then I listen to it, and then I research the history. That's how I built my early set. Like for example, like in no way I would know that people would fucking lose their shit to YMCA. You know? And that's like what I learned.
That is so funny. Oh my gosh, that is so funny to have to learn. Like, you were probably the first time you heard that song and saw people losing their shit. You're like, what is happening? Because it was a cultural moment, you know. It was like it was big. Like the Village People was a cultural moment in our history. But sonically, it probably would have been alarming to see that song work so well on a dance floor. That's so funny. Okay, that makes sense. Well, I'm excited to see you, you know, do a set at some point. I'm sure that will happen. And I can't wait to be a dancer on a dance floor.
Yeah, so like, you know, I DJed in Montauk, like the Hamptons crowd. So like my early DJ sets were a lot based on like some of my personal tastes, like some weird music that I believe people would dance to, like if they have ears, you know. And and then the rest is like, oh, like those music I learned that people fucking love here in America, you know. And then you know, right now my current live show setup is still like me with CDJs, but obviously I sing my songs. And then I mean, right now my style is more like hardcore, nightcore, and like weird, like Justin Bieber remixes, but like very weird Justin Bieber remixes. Yeah. So
like I was gonna ask for your live show, like so for instance, when you go on tour, you've been the opener on some amazing tours. Is your show, it's still CDJs, you have a vocal though, you're singing some of your tracks, and are you mixing in other people's tracks too, or are you just doing all original set?
Well, I mean, it depends. So like sometimes I play keys as well if I'm singing my songs. So, and I mix other people's tracks, yes. So like, and like literally I played a show in New York in August. Like by the end of it, I was just like literally doing covers of like, every time we touch, na 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 na, because I know my crowd loves it, because my community, my scene, I just know these people love this song, and of course that song anybody would love it. Kind of, some people.
Yes.
Yeah, some people think it's cringy, but it's not cringy to us.
No, it's so good. It's a brilliant pop song. That is. Yeah. Oh man, I would love to see. So when you have the keys and stuff, do you still have the CDJs?
Yeah.
Amazing. I play the piano and DJ as well, so I can't wait to see your set. That's so fun. I love that. I love seeing, people, because it really, we have a mixer, so we can add instruments, on top of the CDJs, and it's so fun to be able to do that. I know you are also an activist. Tell us about some of the issues that are most near and dear to you.
Yeah, so there are 3 things I currently, very, very, need to, figure out. So first of all is healthcare for foreign LGBTQ plus artists, especially when they, because basically who I am is, I'm a foreign, pansexual artist and working in America. I pay the same tax as Americans, but I do not get healthcare they could get, so, and that's an issue, and especially a lot of LGBTQ plus artists, they work in nightlife and, so many things they could, get help with, for example, therapy, and just everything, and then secondly, sustainability in food and fashion industry, because, I mentioned before, I worked in fashion, so I know how much waste fashion could generate, whether it's through fast fashion, the production, or fashion week, catering, it's the amount of food they waste during all these events, and then also in food industry itself, because I started DJing at clubs, so all my friends are from nightlife back then, and I observed how much the kitchen could just throw out every single night. And also when I was in school, I did my part-time job at the catering company at my school, and just the children in Africa, they're still starving, there are still underprivileged people in Asia, they need food. So there has to be something, whether if it's us change ourselves or we give all these extras to other people, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Then thirdly, thirdly, this is also, I don't know if, because I don't want to say like my third mission is the most important to me, because my three missions are all very important to me, but my third mission is very personal to me, because basically I want art, education, museums open for free to the public, So basically, like, for example, if you want to go to LA County Museum, you have to pay $25, okay? And like for me, like growing up, because I came to America when I was really young and I didn't know anyone. Like, we don't have families here in America, so I was just alone. And I remember I always love to go to museum because it's a great place for me to escape, to kill time, and obviously like that really trained my mind, So like if we complain about kids like hanging out on the streets after school, like maybe doing some really weird shit, like if we can make the museum open to them, like I would go. Like if there's a place, AC, like skate park, and like some sort of free food or beverage, and like some sort of like workshops every week, like I would go hang out there. Right. I don't want to stand on the street in LA, so yeah. So like, and also again, I think education is such a privilege, but it's a very important tool for underprivileged people to go to places that they want to go or they never thought they could go. So
totally. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What was it like being on the Cashmere Cat Princess Cat Girl tour?
Oh, I mean, that was so crazy. So like, I mean, he only did 3 days, and I think I saw the announcement online, and then I was like, I mean, I obviously know his name, and I've heard of his music before, and then I think it was probably the same day. No, not the same day. So actually, I was bumping his new album, Princess Cat Girl, for about a week. And then one day in the morning, I was just like, wow, this is too good. And then like I posted an Insta story without tagging him, because like my purpose of posting that Insta story is not for him to see. Just like I just wanted to like share my appreciation. Yep. So I posted an Insta story being like, Cashmere Cat's Princess Cat Girl album is so good, I'm dying. And then he DM'd me like being like, this is my phone number, I have something to ask you, text me. And I was like, what? Yeah. And then I think what happened was probably the same day by accident, because they were looking for support for like his like Webster Hall stuff. So like I think his agent sent over my name to him, and he probably was like, all right, let me check out this girl, and then he probably clicked my Insta story, and that Insta story is the one I like post about his music.
Well, that must have been the universe aligning for that to happen. You were meant to take that opening slot. That is so awesome. Well, thank you so much, Alice, for being a guest on Femme House Radio. I love what you're doing. I love everything you stand for. I love your sparkle and your shine. Nobody has more sparkle and shine than you. Thank you for being on Femme House Radio.
Thank you for having me. Bye, guys. Talk soon.
This is LP Giobbi.
Listen up, children.
You are listening to Femme House Radio.
I said listen up, children.
On Diplo's Revolution, Sirius XM.
A wonderful night is made as much by the dancers as the music can have. Guided as much by the spirit of joy in the room as by the hand which reaches for the next record. Each of us has a role in tonight's experience. We all play in the band. I said, we all play in the band.
This is LP Giobbi, and I founded Femme House, a 501c3 foundation and educational platform that teaches the technical areas of music making for women, non-binary, trans, and other marginalized gender identities. Every week, I will be interviewing and spotlighting women in music while bringing you the best dance tunes from around the world.